I bought 6 of the best-selling ring lights on Amazon from 6 inches to 18 inches, cheap to premium, to help you decide which ring light to buy no matter what your budget is. I'm going to compare price, specs and features, build quality, performance, convenience, then give my verdict on which ring light is the best for each budget. Convenience is going to be the make or break section for a lot of these ring lights, so don't sleep on that part. Use the timestamps to skip around to whatever section you need. The 6 lights I bought are from Mpow, Sensyne, Mactrem, Ubeesize, Elgato, and Neewer. Price. I bought my Mpow for $20, Sensyne for $39, Mactrem for $38, Ubeesize for $33, Elgato for $200, and Neewer for $137. These prices might change, so for current prices, links to the exact models that I bought are in the description. Specs and features. Important heads up, most of these lights don't have brightness ratings at all. The Elgato ring light is in lumens and the Neewer ring light is in lux. So I think the best way to adjust the brightness is to just see them side by side, and I'll be doing that in this review. The Mpow ring light has a 6.3 inch diameter. It has 3 different color temperatures and 3 different brightness levels. It goes from 2900 Kelvin to 5500 Kelvin to 6500 Kelvin. This has a chargeable 1200 milliamp hour battery and it connects using a USB cable. The stand gets up to 14.4 inches when it's opened. The Sensyne ring light has a 10 inch diameter. It has 3 color temperature modes and it has 10 brightness levels. There's no brightness rating. The color temperature range is from 3000 to 4500 to 6000. The Sensyne has an AC adapter, which is probably why it's brighter than all the other budget lights that I reviewed. The Mactrem RGB ring light has an 8 inch diameter. It has RGB lighting and adjustable color temperature on the wire. No lumens are listed, and the color temperature is stated to have 5 levels from 3000 to 6000. But I'm not 100% sure what they mean by that, since there were only 3 levels when I tried. But maybe they're including some of the blue and orange RGB colors in that color temperature. This connects with USB and it comes with a mirror. The tripod it comes with goes from 16 to 50 inches. The Ubeesize ring light is 8 inches in diameter. It has adjustable brightness and 3 different color temperature settings, 3000, 4500, and 6000 Kelvin. It is USB powered and there's no brightness rating listed. The included tripod goes from 17.5 to 51 inches. The Elgato ring light has a diameter of 17 inches. It has a maximum brightness of 2500 lumens and the color temperature can be granularly adjusted from 2900 to 7000 Kelvin. It has physical controls for both brightness and color temperature, and it can be controlled with a phone or a computer connected to Wi-Fi. Unlike the other lights, this one does not come with a tripod and instead the Master Mount S with a height of 17 to 29 inches. This is the only light that can clamp directly to your desk. The light itself has a 1/4 inch thread to allow it to be screwed onto a tripod. The Neewer advanced ring light has an 18 inch diameter. Its brightness rating is listed in lux. At 0.5 meters it is 2150 lux, and at 1 meter it is 880 lux. What does that actually mean in lumens? Not sure. But it's definitely not as bright as the Elgato ring light, and I'll be demonstrating that. It has adjustable brightness, and it also has adjustable color temperature from 3200 Kelvin to 5600 Kelvin. Just like the Elgato, you can adjust these in small increments. It has capacitive buttons to do so, but it can also be controlled with a remote that comes with it. But the AAA batteries that are required to use this remote are not included. The stand included has a maximum height of 74.8 inches and the minimum height is 30.7 inches. This is not a traditional tripod as there's no 1/4 inch screw on it, nor is there a thread opening on the ring itself. Let's advance to build quality. When it comes to the actual light itself, the Elgato ring light definitely feels the sturdiest, but the pieces it comes with aren't really optimized for its weight. Even when I tightened the ball mount as tight as I could get it, I've had the Elgato ring light start slipping, and at one point it actually fell down as I tried to point it downwards. The problem is that the ball mount just can't hold that much weight unless it's straight up and down, which still works fine as a light source, but if you wanted to put your webcam or your camera in the middle of it and then tilt it down at you, I'm telling you from experience, I wouldn't do that. The best build quality overall definitely goes to the Neewer ring light. The ring is still plastic, but it connects super snug to its base. I gotta say, I don't like that clicky sound when you go to adjust it at all. but when you tighten it, it's way more sturdy and tight compared to the other lights. The stand is the tallest, but still durable. The cable is really long. The capacitive buttons are great. The remote is great. The only real flaw with the build is it's so well designed for its base that it doesn't connect to other tripods and other mounts. More on that later. All the budget ring lights have relatively similar build qualities as far as the actual light itself. They're all kind of like cheapish plastic, but you know, it's nothing like super flimsy. The Sensyne, I didn't really like the feel of the capacitive buttons and they're kind of laggy, but the tripod itself is super sturdy. I think that light is probably worth it alone just for the tripod. In fact, I'm going to be stealing the tripod from that to be using with my Elgato ring light. But yeah, the Ubeesize build's average, Mactrem's average, and the Mpow is really cheap, but I mean it works, so it's all good, I guess. Also, the USB cables aren't very long on the Mpow, Ubeesize, and Mactrem, but the AC adapter is decent size on the Sensyne. The Elgato ring lights is a decent length and the Neewer's is really long. Performance. Here I tested all the lights in both daylight and at night. I tried to condense hours of footage into a few minutes, but if you want to see more, I've included more pictures in my written review of each device that I'll have linked in the description when they're done. Budget lights first. Nighttime. None of the 4 budget lights I tested really help out at night. The lights simply aren't that big and aren't that bright. Still, I was most disappointed with the Mactrem because the RGB effects actually get washed out by white the brighter you make it. So you can't even use this as a subtle backlight. It's unfortunate. In daylight, the Sensyne is the brightest of the bunch, and that's likely due to it having a larger ring than the Mpow, Ubeesize, and Mactrem. In addition, it comes with an AC adapter rather than a USB cable, allowing it to get more power. The diffusion on all the budget lights isn't that great. Even though they have a ring shape, since they're so small, the actual light coming from them is kind of like a beam. But they're all still way easier to look at and give softer light than a small LED panel like the Neewer CN160. That's actually one of the reasons I bought all of these lights, because that light was really destroying my eyes. Now for the premium lights. The Neewer can completely illuminate the subject at night, which is a complete 180 compared to the budget lights. In the daytime, it's excellent for eliminating shadows by evening out daylight with its adjustable brightness and color temperature. This light truly does have premium performance. However, the Elgato ring light performs even better. It's brighter, which is most important at night, and it has a wider range of color temperature so you can more easily match daylight. At 12 noon, the Neewer's 5600 was just a little too warm, but with the Elgato, you can cool this all the way down to 7000. The Elgato ring light is also a bit easier on the eyes thanks to its diffusion method. The Neewer ring light has a lot of small lights scattered around the ring shooting out, but the Elgato ring light is edge lit pointing in. They both light the subject quite evenly, but the result is less eye strain from the Elgato ring light. Now, if those were all the comparisons that you need, of course I have links to all of the lights in the description, but you might want to stick around for the convenience section so that you can make sure the light that you want is going to work for your setup. Convenience. By this, I mean how easy is each light to set up and use. For budget lights, the Mpow is pretty annoying because you have to keep reaching over to click it, and it has a really short non-detachable cable that you need to charge it up. But when charged, you can set it on your desk without it taking up too much space. Too bad the light is too dim for it to really make a difference though. Both the Ubeesize and the Mactrem have relatively short USB cables as well, but once they are set up, they are easy to use. The Ubeesize is the only one that comes with a little power brick for the USB cable. All of these lights came with some sort of a phone grip so that you can attach your phone to it, except for the Elgato ring light. That one you have to buy a phone grip separately. All of these ring lights, except for the Elgato ring light, come with this little Bluetooth remote. They all look like exactly the same. I think they're all manufactured in the exact same place. Basically what these are is they connect to your phone by Bluetooth. It works with both Android and iOS. All it really is just like a volume up button so that when you have your camera app open, you can either use it to take video or take photos. Of the budget lights, only the Sensyne actually has a system to let you mount a DSLR. My camera was too big to fit inside the ring though. And the Neewer and the Elgato both have these little ball heads that come with it that you can put your DSLR on. For the premium lights, there's really two major differences here: the controls and the base. The remote for the Neewer is godlike. It's responsive, it's fast. You can control multiple lights with it if you have them. I really like it a lot. The Elgato Control Center is amazing in theory, but anyone who has actually used the phone app knows it takes forever to sync. Sometimes it never syncs. It loses connection all the time, even if you're right next to the lights. That's definitely the biggest weakness with Elgato lights, is the way that it connects with apps, which is why it's so important that they added physical buttons to the Elgato ring light. Now, as for the base, the Neewer ring light has a pretty big stand, and the light itself does not have a thread on the bottom. This means if you're going to be using this at a desk, you'll need to drag your desk out pretty far away from the wall to make room for the stand, or you'll have to put it off to the side, which kind of defeats the purpose of getting a ring light because you'll have a dark shadow on the other side of your face. Though depending on how much light is already in your room, it's not that big of a difference, because I have this kind of off maybe 15 degrees, the Neewer ring light, and I'm very well evenly lit. So it's not like a super big deal, but you can't get it straight dead on unless you move it behind your desk and drag your desk out, or you're just not sitting next to your desk at all. The Elgato ring light has the opposite problem. It can only clamp to your desk. That is, if you're using what only comes in the box. So if you're moving around or you want to record anywhere that's not a desk with a flat lip, there's nowhere to put this. You can theoretically order a heavy base to come with the Elgato ring light, but there's really 3 issues with that. Number 1, that's 40 extra bucks. Number 2, I've literally never seen the Elgato heavy base in stock anywhere. That thing might as well not exist for all I'm concerned. And 3, the Master Mount S that comes with the Elgato ring light is too short to use by itself on the floor anyway, even if you have the heavy base. The thing that sets the Elgato ring light apart is the fact that the actual ring itself has a 1/4 inch thread on the bottom of it, which means that you can unscrew it from the mount that it comes with, and then you can just screw it onto another tripod. That makes it much more versatile than the Neewer ring light. And even in the Neewer product page, you'll notice how awkwardly the light is placed for people using it at their desk, because you can't really position it well to light yourself properly and evenly unless you put it behind your desk, and a lot of people just can't do that, myself included. And now for my verdict. The best budget ring light is the Sensyne 10-inch ring light. It's brighter than the other cheap ring lights. It uses an AC adapter and it provides pretty decent lighting. Though personally, I think that if you only have $50 or less to spend on a light, you might be better off just saving that $50 and filming in the middle of the day facing a window. I think that makes a more dramatic difference and improvement in your image quality than getting that light. But if you have to make videos at night, or you're doing Zoom calls when there's not that much light out, then yeah, the Sensyne of the budget ring lights is definitely the best choice. The best overall ring light is the Elgato ring light. Yes, it is expensive as AF. Yes, the fact that it does not come with a tripod makes it limited out the box, but it's the brightest light. It has the widest range of color temperature. It's the easiest to look at for longer periods. It can clamp to your desk and save a ton of space, and it can be screwed onto other tripods or stands if you want to move around. If putting a light behind your desk is no problem, or if your set just doesn't really require you to be stuck at a desk anyway, then I would highly suggest getting the Neewer 18-inch advanced ring light. It's a super good light, and literally I don't have any actual complaints with it. It's just that I can't really set it up for my space. Links to all of these lights are in the description. I'll see you in the next review.